evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending and welcome. My name is Alana Berry, and I am the Director of Community and Family Services in the Office of the Governor. We are delighted to welcome our 2023 Governor Summer Fellows and their families and celebrate all of your accomplishments this summer. I would also like to welcome Governor Carney. We launched the Governor Summer Fellowship last summer to help prepare students for innovative and compelling work in education, government, and their communities. With paid opportunities, eligible students were selected by 35 different summer camps and programs to participate as a summer fellow. Tonight, we would like to recognize all of your hard work, but first, we would like to invite Governor Carney to say a few words.
For the streaming, it's always okay. It is working. You just got to speak into it. So it's been as much or more than what we had hoped for. The original idea was to engage young people in communities across our state to get them to get involved in some educational activities during the summertime, knowing from firsthand experience that you sometimes have to fool kids to get them to get involved in educational opportunities by getting to camp for other reasons. But we've seen with the pandemic some learning loss across all age groups. And this was a really important opportunity to get some extra time to students, particularly our younger students across the state. And we did that. The second thing we did, we gave high school students and all the fellows, and I'm going to ask all the fellows to stand up. I met several of you tonight. Please stand so we can recognize you and clap and show our appreciation. These young people, you can sit down, these young people worked in camps, and there are a lot of camp leaders today, the Boys and Girls Club. I met fellows from Resurrection Church, from various programs in our city. We had United Way that organized some of the programs, YMCA. And so we had a good partnership with many of those organizations with the school districts in which the camps were located. And so really important to make that connection with the academic side and their summer activities. We hope to be able to expand this. One of our major objectives is to get more extra time for students so that they can catch up. We have lots of younger students in particular that fell behind without that in-person instruction during 2.5, 3 years of COVID where they weren't in a classroom with in-person instruction with a teacher. So the only way you can make up that time, particularly for our earliest readers, is with extra time. After school, during the school year, whether that's at the end of the day or over the weekend, time at home, so engaging parents, and then in the summertime program. The other thing this did was gave all of you, the fellows, a good job opportunity, frankly. We paid the minimum wage, which is higher than the current minimum wage. It's the $15 an hour minimum wage that will go into effect, I think, another year and a half from now. And in doing so, can you put your hand together? I saw you trying to clap for that. And my guess is just about every other place that you would have gone to for a summer job, you wouldn't have been paid minimum wage. The other thing that it did, and I learned this in our visit to the YMCA had their normal summer folks at the Dover site that weren't getting paid minimum wage. Well, they decided, since our fellows were going to get paid minimum wage, get paid $15 an hour, that they were going to pay their people $15 an hour too. And I got to tell you, when I went to visit them, all of those YMCA organizers and employees were happy to be paid the extra amount of money. So it really was good for everyone, but most of all, I think for the young students that each of you worked with, and for each of you. For me, it surpassed my hopes and aspirations, and I want to again thank Alana and Melissa and the team. Where's Melissa and Katie? There they are in the back. Stand up so we can recognize you as well. These guys put it together. And I think as we continue to do this and expand the number of fellows next summer and expand the partnerships with nonprofit organizations, in particular in the various communities, we need to get a tighter connection and relationship with the schools and the school districts themselves. At the Dover YMCA, they both the camp used a reading curriculum called Book Nooks. I'm getting out of my league here now for a minute, which was something that was also used by the school district, or maybe that was at Seaford, but they both had different sign-ons, which makes a lot of sense for Book Nook because they get an extra amount of money for each sign-on, but it doesn't make a lot of sense as we try to coordinate where the children are and what we need to do to get them to become better readers. So that's our goal for the long term. We're only going to get there with the kind of organization and partnerships that we saw, and frankly, with all of you. As it turns out, you guys are our best and brightest, and so we're really excited about your futures. We appreciate your work this summer and hope that those of you who are rising juniors will come back and be with us next year. We, as I said, hope to expand the program. I don't know whether I'm going to introduce Dr. Holodick or you can. So we do this in partnership with our Department of Education. Dr. Mark Holodick is the Secretary of Education. His team is doing an incredible job with a real focus on making sure that our children make up the lost learning that they've had, that our children across our state in every district and every community are able to read proficiently at third grade, do math proficiently in middle school, and graduate ready to go into a good job or on to higher education. I see Cora back there as part of Mark's team. They got a bigger team than that. Mark, thanks for all the work that you do, and please come up and address our fellows and thank them for their great work this summer.
Good evening, everyone. To the parents and caregivers, family members who are here, thank you for encouraging and loaning your students to us to do this very important work that the governor just detailed. So the governor ended with sharing the many things that we at the department are working hard to do, much of it having to do with what occurred through and following the pandemic. We've got to roll our sleeves up and do really, really hard work. And what we heard 2 years ago when we wanted as many students in summer learning opportunities as possible, we heard from our 19 superintendents and 23 charter school leaders, we don't have enough staff. We need more. And so out of the governor's office came this idea of the Governor's Fellows. And as you heard, we've doubled it in size this year. So kudos. I'm going to talk to the students in just a moment. But to the parents, it's a commitment that we appreciate and know that your kids were doing really, really important work with our youngest learners, those who have arguably been impacted the most by what we've been through over the last few years. So really, really important work. We want to thank you. And to the students, you know, when the governor and I came and met with you at the end of the school year, very beginning of the summer there at Wilmington University in Dover, when you were going through your professional development, I shared with you that when I was in high school and in college, I had the opportunity to work at a summer program with with young kids in elementary up into early grades of middle school and how that influenced me. That was at the Claymont Community Center, and I had hoped for the same for you. About 70% of the students that participate in this program of fellows, about 70%, so being that there are about 100, that's about 70 of you were in last year the Future Educator Pathway. And I'm here to implore you to stay in that pathway because we need great educators. It is an incredibly fulfilling job because you know you're impacting the future. And I'll go so far as to say, under this administration, we're doing a whole lot to change the way in which we perceive education, the way we deliver education, the way we compensate for education. So it is an awesome career path, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. For those who choose to go into a different pathway, that's no problem. My final request to all of you would be just come back to Delaware. We want you here. We want you here, and you're on your way. Thank you very much. It's my honor to introduce our next speaker, and that's Michelle Taylor, who is the CEO of the United Way. Michelle, important partner in this work. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to echo thanks to the parents for encouraging your kids to participate and show up. But I want to first start by, again, thanking the governor and Mark and Cora and Alana and those in your office for the vision that we had a couple years ago. We know what the impact that the pandemic had on our kids and exacerbated a gap for them. And so this was like a creative program. It was one that allowed, it gave an opportunity to increase the number of kids that were in structured learning. And by working with over 30 partners, it also allowed for parents to take kids primarily in their communities where they were. And at the same time, it got to be able to work with such amazing young leaders. The baton will be in your hand. And when we're thinking about, as Secretary Holodick said, the fact that our community needs great teachers, our kids need great teachers, our state needs great teachers. So the opportunity to hopefully that your summer experience inspired you to further your career. Hopefully it gave you an opportunity with resources and infrastructure. You expanded your network. I loved how Secretary Holodick said you had professional learning experience that you can now add to your resume, right? That you are a step ahead by being in this program. So we would encourage you to stay down that path. I hope that those of you that can come back again next summer. And I would just say this to you, that the kids' lives that you touched, those that you worked with, those that probably came up to you, right, and connected to you, and those that maybe either needed special attention, needed a hug, needed a smile, you made a difference. And for that, I say thank you. I see heads nod, and you know those either young little boy or a young girl, that it was more than just about helping them close an academic gap. It was really about giving them a safe, nurturing place to be this summer. It was about expanding their possibilities. It was about giving them role models. You are their role models, right? And so we thank you. And the last thing I would just say to the governor that I loved about this program is that it did allow us to standardize. So it didn't matter what location that kids came to. It didn't matter if it was Newcastle, Kent, or Sussex. It didn't matter which school district they were connected to. The same structured learnings were happening all across the state, so that we can begin to aggregate data, that we can begin to look at, that hopefully can demonstrate that growth happened this summer because of you, right? You're such a key part of that. So I look forward to that data coming and us being able to analyze it and share it. I look forward, right, to what's next and what's in store for both you, the kids that you're served and impacted and touched, right, and for our state ultimately. Thank you.
Thank you to the governor, Secretary Holodick, and Michelle for sharing their thoughts with us. We wanted to show or share a video from the Lieutenant Governor who is unable to attend tonight and still wanted to send you a message, so please direct your attention to the screen.
Hi, Lieutenant Governor Hall Long. I just wanted to say thank you for joining our Governor Summer Fellowship Program. I wish I was there in person to give you my sincere appreciation and thanks. I hope that you take the lessons learned from this summer experience into the future and consider a career, perhaps in public service. I know I, as a young student, also was an intern, and it really did make a difference. Please know that this was such an incredible opportunity for our 35 partner sites up and down the state, and you did make a difference in so many of our youth's lives, whether at the summer camps and other initiatives and programs. So I just say thank you. I'm there with you in spirit, and I really hope that you have a great school year ahead of you.
Thank you. As the governor mentioned earlier, we partnered with 35 summer camps and programs in all 3 counties. I would like to welcome Dimian Denson from Breakthrough Inertia and Millie Charnick from the Boys and Girls Club to share about their experiences.
Well, isn't this, is it on? Okay. It's an awesome program. We loved it. We loved having the fellows at our sites for the Boys and Girls Club. We had them at 14 different sites in the state of Delaware. It's an awesome opportunity that Governor gave us to have them come. They got paid to come into and work with our children, and they got training, special training on Book Nook and trainings from the Boys and Girls Club for the summer camp. And it also gave us an opportunity to bring 10 kids for every fellows that we had, got scholarship to come into the camp that may not have been there before. So it was an awesome opportunity for them. So there was 140 kids that got to come to camp that maybe never came to camp before. So we really appreciate all you did, and these kids will remember you. I'll tell you, I've been with the Boys and Girls Club for 22 years, started as a director down in Oak Orchard, and just saw a boy the other day, he's 26 years old, that was in my camp, and he saw me on the street and just started yelling. So they will remember you. I know that you get close to some of them, and I'm hoping it drives you to the education field, because we really do need more people out there. And we always need staff at the Boys and Girls Club, so give us a holler if you're looking for a part-time job. We'll be open. But thanks to the governor's office for allowing us to be part of this program, and hopefully next year he will include us too. Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? Good. I just want to share some insight about my organization, the Governor's Fellowship. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pride and gratitude that I stand before you today as we celebrate the completion of the Governor's Fellowship Summer Youth Program 2023. This summer, we have witnessed an extraordinary journey filled with growth, inspiration, and community building. Let's take a moment to reflect on the remarkable aspects of the program. Our campers were introduced to Book Nook, an online tool that provided a rich and engaging learning environment. It was more than just a summer enrichment tool. It was a bridge to creativity, curiosity, and intellectual growth. Giving employment opportunities to high school juniors and seniors was more than just about a job. It was a stepping stone to real-world experience, professional development, and a new career. Inspiring entrepreneurship. Despite some setbacks in our initial plan, we turned them into opportunities. We shifted our focus to entrepreneurship and business, inviting local business owners, Randall Law, Lance and Adrian Williams, Jason Aviles, Andrea Farrell, Kevin Potts III, Katrina Watson, Darren Felder, Sharita Tahana, and Chef Javi. Their participation, samples, and advice fueled the campers' entrepreneurial spirits. Unity and resilience. We stood together in the face of adversity. Stepping Stones Federal Credit Union, Ebony Brown and United Way, Christina Woznicki of Summer Youth Learning Collaborative, Catherine Burns and Alana Berry of the Governor's Office, Loving Parents, volunteers, and of course my incredible wife, Kim Denson, made it possible to turn obstacles into stepping stones. This united front was our greatest strength. I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Governor John Carney's office and United Way for their unwavering support and belief in this initiative. This experience and the opportunity to serve our youth and community would not have been possible without them. Finally, the success of the Summer Youth Program is not only a testament to hard work and collaboration, but also a symbol of what we can achieve as a community. We have collectively planted seeds of inspiration, growth, and resilience in the hearts of our youth. We have made a difference as a group. Thank you all, and let's keep nurturing the potential in every young person that we meet together. We can break through inertia. Time is of the essence. Thank you very much.
Next, I'd like to welcome Ebony from United Way to the stage to share a little bit more about our program and recognize some students.
Good evening, everyone. So as you heard this evening, the Governor's Fellowship Program is really about making sure that we are extending summer program safe learning environments for our K-8 students, as well as making sure that we can provide an opportunity for our rising juniors and seniors. Part of that was not just about workforce development and experience. We also wanted to provide you more education and information that's going to help you carry on to the next year. So with that, we, United Way of Delaware, hosted a Real Talk session where we had some special guests talk about FAFSA, financial aid and preparing for college. We also had a special guest talk about entrepreneurship and what it takes to build your own business. And we also had a guest from Polytech Aviation Maintenance Program talk about some amazing opportunities for an apprenticeship coming up in January. So part of that Real Talk session, we also awarded 3 $50 gift cards to some of our participants. Unfortunately, they weren't able to join us tonight, but I do want to recognize them. Kiara Walters, Jordan Golding, and Naeem Benson were our winners of the $50 gift cards. So can you give them a round of applause? So we hope that the Real Talk experience was educational for you. If you or your families have any other questions about financial aid, workforce development, entrepreneurship, or apprenticeships, where do you call? Y'all forgot? Delaware 211? 211! Please call Delaware 211, or you have my contact information. Feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to welcome 2 of our fellows who are going to share in their own words remarks about their summer. So we would like to invite Rebecca Kemp and Braden Baker to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Kemp. I am 17 years old, and I'm a rising senior at Lake Forest High School. This year, I had my first summer job. I worked for the Governor's Summit program, as we're all here celebrating tonight. And I worked at a location in Dover. My site was totally different from anything I was used to. You see, I grew up in a small town called Harrington, and I lived just outside of town in a very rural community surrounded by farmland. So being right in the center of Dover was not something I was used to. So when I got to my site in the center of the city, I was very nervous to learn about my children and students that I was working with. I had never worked with these kids before and had never even met them. I soon learned that the children around the neighborhood, some of them knew each other, and most of them had some sense of community with their peers. As they came to camp, I learned more about them. I learned that they played in their backyards together, and some of them even learned in school in classrooms next to each other. I also soon learned that the area and some of the surrounding areas, some of these students expressed that they had financial aid at home and weren't able to do certain things that camp offered to them. I was very excited to be able to help these kids and students to achieve their academic goals. They worked on Book Nook. These students received academic help from me and my coworkers as they learned to read, and some of them even picked up a book for their very first time. These students began to read stories and level up into harder concepts. The joy and delight in their eyes as they learned that they had leveled up and were getting to learn harder concepts and read longer books. It was amazing to see children so excited for reading, but also to be able to help them with this stepping stone in their life. Other things that we had fun at camp doing were playing games and getting to know each other, getting children out of their comfort zone and talking in front of peers. We had circle every day to share about feelings and open up about some things that were going on. This helped the kids to become more aware of their surroundings and how others were feeling emotionally. Each day during circle, we would talk about things. We would talk about how we should treat each other, maybe rules for the day, respect, and we even got to learn things about other kids and what they were doing over the weekend. I was touched by the time that I got to spend with my campers, students, and even fellow coworkers. I got to help these children learn and grow more in their surrounding areas and become confident in themselves. I thank you all for this opportunity that you have given me, and I would like to thank Governor John Carney and his office for making this possible for us students. We will learn new skills in this environment, and I will take some of these skills that I have learned for the rest of my life. I will use them in workforces that I will join, communities that I plan to help, and even plan to continue to volunteer using some of these skills. Thank you for listening to my speech and learning a little more about this program, and I hope that you guys will continue, my fellow fellows, to continue to work with students in your area because they really do need our help, and some of them were very touched by us. Thank you.
Hello. It's on? Okay. Hello. For those who don't know me, my name is Braden Baker. I worked as a camp counselor for Camp Oasis down in Rehoboth Beach at the Sussex Family YMCA. I learned a lot. One of the things I learned this year is that you have to be ready for anything unexpected to come your way. Whether it's a kid who gets injured, gets lost, starts threatening others, or a kid that tells you exactly how bad their home life is. You have to act quick and know what to do in the moment. Another is that participation is key. The kids would love it when I would play gaga with them, throw a football with them, or even splash them when we were in the pool. They even love seeing my cannonball. Engaging with the kids helps to make them feel safe around you, and it also helps their parents to trust you. What I liked best about camp was the activities we did. We did beach day every Tuesday, field trip every Thursday. It does get hectic, but in all, even as counselors had fun those days. They were amazing. I also loved the pool. I'd be there every single time, even if I wasn't the runner. My favorite experience was when we did this thing called Color Wars, where everyone was repping their team color. Kids and counselors would compete in competitions like musical chairs, name that tune, etc. Even thought my group got last. Personally, I think the other groups were cheating. I still had fun with the kids that week, and the kids did as well. All in all, I want to thank Governor Carney and the governor's office for giving me this special opportunity. I want to thank my boss, Shannon Downing, at the Sussex YMCA for taking me up through this program. And I want to thank my mother for forwarding me the email she got about this program and getting me to sign up. See y'all next year. I was nervous.
And before we leave tonight, we would like to recognize each of the fellows that are here with us with a certificate of success. Please stand as I call your name, and we'll welcome the governor, Secretary Holodick, and Michelle Taylor to the stage to snap photos with the fellows. It's underneath. Yep. Okay. Please come up the stairs as I call your name. Ilana Aliskas. Layla Alston. Braden Baker. Miles Crawford. Kaylin Dyson. Sydney Fowler. Lauren Fletcher. Jordan Harris. Maya Johnson. Sai Camilli. Rebecca Kemp. Nathan Musimi. Olivia Phillips. Brianna Ramos. Celeste Ruiz Gonzalez. Emmanuel Shamaid. Divine Thomas. Kaylee Thomas. Jordan Tucker. Ethan Emmanuel. Do you want a group shot? Do you want a group shot? A group shot? Never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Could you give all of our fellows a round of applause? Thank you again to all of our partner sites, the Delaware Department of Education, Summer Learning Collaborative, United Way of Delaware, and Dover High School for hosting us tonight. And thank you to all of our high school students who participated in the second annual Governor's Summer Fellowship. Please feel free to grab any to-go boxes with food and dessert on the way out, and have a great night.